Once again, here we are back in the ghetto. My name is Scary Barbie tonight. Welcome to UPRE. We will be reviewing Puppet Master, which is Vic's choice. So if you have beef with this movie, please let us know in the comments. Please respond and at Vic because this was his pick. This will be the first of our month of puppet movies series through the end of January, Thursday nights at 8:30, preferably, but tonight 9 o'clock. Tonight I'm joined by a special guest, a friend of mine, Travi 2 times. How are you tonight?
Hey, I'm all right. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. We may have Vic tonight. We're running a little late, guys. Obviously, if you have a problem, at Vic. But we're excited to get into this movie and doodle all over it before he gets here. I'll dive straight in. This was my first time seeing Puppet Master. I had seen it in passing at 7-Elevens, and as Chris would mention frequently, Walmart bins for $5. In my tenure of movie watching, I've seen it a lot of times next to there's a movie about a haunted bong. That actually probably would be more interesting than I found this film this evening. But it's part of a long legacy of 80s body horror, puppetry, animatronic, whatever in film. I wouldn't say it's one of the more popular ones, but it does feel like a cult classic. I know I've seen it several times on TV before streaming, but just never sat down to watch it. It just didn't appeal to me at that point. If I really wanted a deadly puppet, I'd probably watch Miss Piggy beat Kermit, but Miss Piggy is everything and violent, which is real.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Right, I'm not mad at her.
She'll definitely get caught up in a DV case in 2.5 seconds. But this movie was kind of like gross.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I don't know. I mean, like we said, this movie, 30 years old.
Yeah.
It's one of those budget. Well, I can't even call it a budget movie, but it's definitely on those DVD collections. You know, you get 5 random movies for $5 or what have you, and it's worth that. It's definitely worth, like you said, if you want to take a hit. Yeah, you know, if you want to take a hit off that evil bong and watch this movie, it's worth that. It is good background noise. Great for that. It's great background noise. Yes, definitely.
Well, this movie was a little sexy for some reason, which I was a little caught off guard with. I mean, you expect it almost in 80s. You're definitely going to see a pair of 2 white boobs in an 80s horror.
Absolutely.
But this was actually very surprising how many boobs there were and how many sensual sexual situations that had it was just not relevant to the plot.
Yeah, that's how that was in the 80s and 90s. It was just like, I mean, I don't know. We got to have some type of sex scene. Doesn't matter what the plot is. Doesn't matter who the killer is. Inject some sex in there. You know,
very strange. Very strange. So I'll give a quick overview of what happens in this movie, which is hard to narrow down.
Can't make this up. Yep.
Off the top of my head, but I'll get into it. In the 1940s, puppet maker says his final goodbyes to his collection of puppets, as he knows he's being tracked down by German soldiers. He carves out a bit of wall and shoves his puppet case in there and says, hasta la vista, and takes off straight to hell. Then we're shot into present day. Is 1989 for this film, and these scientists are doing some sleep experiments that are also kind of sensual in nature. And there's there's just something weird happening where a group of people are having similar dream sequences. We then shoot to some professional in some capacity. I guess he's a professor. I couldn't really tell what he was. Essentially, he's in some sort of supernatural work. along with 3 other colleagues / acquaintances, and they are being summoned via ESP
Psychic
by
angle.
this other 5th weirdo that is very far away, off in some mansion somewhere, a mansion hotel situation. He lived there, so I will refer to it as a haunted mansion because it doesn't count as a haunted hotel if you and your party are the only guests staying there. To me,
Makes
so
sense.
they go to the haunted hotel. They're greeted by someone who's kind of a bitch, and she says, "Yeah, girl, the guy who invited you here is dead. Sorry you came all the way out here, but we're having the funeral tomorrow, so you should stay."
Right.
So they decide to stay, and the sidekicks are all starting to experience weird supernatural things throughout as they're, prepping for bed and whatever, like kind of investigating what's the tea, why have we been summoned here, what's going on. It takes a really long time for the first person to get killed. And it felt like there was such a buildup for that moment, just for the first kill to be so wasteful, kind of a throwaway. But once we start getting into the kills, we're seeing that the culprits are these weird puppets that no child would play with, and that you probably wouldn't even find in an antique doll store. Like, these are very only your mother could love it type of ugly wood, just hideous doll type things
And they're
that no one would ever want.
weaponized for some reason.
And they're being weaponized against this man's colleagues.
Right.
It's all very strange. Just to go back a little bit, we start off the movie a little bit from one of the puppets' viewpoints. And he's kind of just like scurrying past and running all around. And I'm like, oh, this reminds me of Toy Story. Like, they're trying to go save Woody from the store or something. All right. And the way that they executed that in that cartoon movie felt more genuine than how they had this puppet just roaming around in broad daylight, not noticed by all these human beings just walking past it. He's like underfoot several times, and it's like, how is no one seeing this? And then finally someone sees it, and she and he that killed me. And I was like, okay, yes, I would be afraid, but the first thing I'd probably do is punt the thing toward the other side of the hallway. But that's just me. I don't know. What's your take? If you ran into one of those, what would you think?
I would probably be the stereotypical one that goes, picks it up, and it's like, oh, this is weird. As a matter of fact, it's too weird staying with me in my room. And that's just who I am. I guess if I had to fit into a trope, I would be the I don't want to call it the dumbass. I would say the oblivious one. I'm like, man, it's just obviously it's a remote control puppet. No one's not out to harm anyone. I mean, even though I found a knife in its pocket. But yeah, I'll take it with me. No problem. I'll lock him up. Let's get back to this funeral. That's what we're all here for, surprisingly. And yeah, I don't know. The movie took a bunch of just the breakdown you laid out. I was taking some notes. How many times have we heard Nazis in a movie? Or that would be the backdrop. And it wasn't even the backdrop. That's just how it started. He was putting the finishing touches on one of his latest creations, but he goes, oh, never mind. Nazis are here. They're knocking at the door. Let me put you guys up, and I'm out. So we start off Nazi suicide, which is like, okay. Okay, way to start things off.
Dramatic.
Right. And then we get into, I think that raised the bar, so it's kind of going to be like, okay, maybe is he going to be haunting people? Does he have a thing out? Is this vengeance? Not necessarily. We don't truly know. And then we get into psychics, which is just like a niche group of people.
Yeah.
Which lowered that bar down immediately because it's like, since I'm not psychic, I'm not in any trouble. So I'm good. Right. That just kind of just threw it. At this point, I am not, the horror is back at zero. If anything, we're in a deficit now. wearing the red, because it's like, oh, I have no reason to be afraid of if I'm not psychic. So, they're at a funeral, cool. And then I think my favorite puppet was the little teeny head puppet, little head.
No.
And it's just so, yeah, little head. That's what I call him. Yep, there he is, my man. It's just like, what?
They got him dressed like the dude from Umbrella Academy right here, and I thought that was so funny.
That's where Umbrella Academy.
That's how he
looked. Yeah, that's where he got it from. Little head comes out of the then he comes out the coffin of the guy who's dead.
Right.
And I'm just like, my man, loyal to the end. And that's what I kind of looked at it as. Like, it's not necessarily as a horror movie. That's what it is. It is, yes, it's dark Toy Story. That's what it is. It's like his toys is gonna hold him down forever. That's how I look at it.
But
it's
will
not even
they?
A horror movie. The movie had 10 different sequels.
They were a fickle bunch as far as I was concerned.
They were. I mean, maybe they they had loyalty to him in different formats, because it was the lady puppet, little nasty. That's what I call it. I don't even know if she had a real name. Little nasty puppet.
I call her well, her name is Leech Woman, but I call her.
Oh wow, the creativity.
I was gonna call her Scary Barbie, but really it should be Deep Throat Barbie, because the way she was gagging all over the place.
Man, what? She was
leeches all over the place. It was like, yo, how much did you eat before you got here, girl? Damn.
She's the throat champion. She lets other things out that that's next level. That's layered.
I've never seen a man be impressed by a lady having something come out of her mouth.
Man, what?
The dude was tied up and so turned on by this little teeny Barbie just kissing on his little nipples. I mean, it's like, how can you not tell that it's not? And didn't he hear his girlfriend get her brains drilled out right underneath him, or he thought she was having a good time?
That drill is just surprisingly quiet. Like, you would think that there was going to be like a lot of like machinery going, like it wasn't gas powered or anything. It was just, maybe he thought it was like a vibrator going on. It's just like, oh, she turned up, she down there.
But I would not be on the floor doing that. Like, why he thinks she'll be on the floor and he's just laying in a lap of luxury on the bed? Like, for me, just like don't put no blindfold on me, okay? I need to see. We in a haunted mansion for a funeral. I don't want to see. I need to see my surroundings. No, I'm good.
Think about that. What better place? I'm a psychic too. I should be able to pick up these things. But I guess because they're puppets, they weren't able to,
Very weird. Yeah. I mean, the only thing is maybe they could have been able to tell if something was enchanted or if something was inhabited by a spirit. But hey, they really didn't. And you're right. That is very strange. That one hoodoo lady that was like hexing her room, trying to put a protective barrier around it. At least I would have thought that she would have come prepared, because she was already like, oh, I already know, like, me and this man were not that cool. So for him to call me down here and he's dead, like
something that dog don't hunt. Right.
Yeah, let me get my room together. And I'm like, and that still didn't quite protect her, which was very strange to me. Maybe she wasn't in her room. I actually don't remember if she left her room when she
was the dude just like decades ahead of his time? It's just like they're gonna think of some type of psychic attack. That's the last thing they're gonna be suspecting is puppets, toys coming out with weapons. That's the last thing they're gonna think about.
Well, so for the fact that it's him, I felt like something about this should have told something about him, or knowing him, or like, did they not know that he was any sort of puppet enthusiast? Like, maybe they knew that he had it out for them a little bit. I knew one girl was like, I don't trust it. Like, as soon as they got up in there.
Absolutely.
And I was like, yeah, so then why are we here? Like,
I mean, wasn't that the same one who stabbed him with the long pin? It was just like, I'm going to confirm.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure.
Same lady, and she's smart, and she's me, except she didn't survive this. And for me, it just, like I said, would have been a quick punt across the room. Like, and let me tell you something, these puppets took a beating. Like, a lot of them were tossed and thrown, and I love seeing that, because it's like, yes, save your own life, be your own hero. These are like 2 feet tall, or less. It shouldn't be as easily overcome by one puppet at a time. Also, it's like
I
weird.
mean, you would be surprised. I mean, I don't have any experience fighting off puppets, obviously, but I'm
No,
just
you
saying.
don't fight them off.
No, you just kind of they they create themselves. They create an obstacle for you,
Right. Okay.
and
That's it
in
then.
that obstacle, you don't know what to expect. You panic a little bit, and that's what they thrive off of. Like
Yeah.
your boy Lil Head. I don't think Lil Head probably
He
hit
was
you with the
swole.
force of right. That's what I'm saying. Like to see him and to jump over him. Just imagine you try to hurtle over him and he catch your ankle, and at that point you're done. You're not going anywhere in the air, but to the ground, and that's where he lives. So at this point, it's choking out time. He's gonna get his UFC on right there on the floor,
Yeah.
and you got a little person on you now. A little person with like grown man strength on you. That's
I
just
need
his A game.
I need to know the aspect ratio of his hand to a neck,
Yeah.
because
Did you
there were
see when
some
he
moments.
came out the coffin? It was like a grown man's
Yeah,
hand and then
I was
another
going to say
hand and then little head. I was like, oh,
there were
I knew
some
something was
moments
up.
that he felt like, okay, this is like a toddler size. Like he's kind of big. And there were moments like, okay, no, he's just another puppet, and you just pluck his head off and throw it. I'll tell
Yeah, I
you
did
this.
see his head come off, but I guess he found it and put it right back on. I want to know, like you said, yeah, can he palm a basketball? Because if so, he can wrap his hand around you too.
Yeah. Yeah, that would scare me. And this guy, just visually, he scared me.
Oh, he's the
Like,
leader.
I don't know what it is. It's not even the hook hand or the knife hand. It's the eyes and the face, the mouth, the empty dark of it just really feels like it's gonna suck my soul up out my body.
And then he
And
had
I
some stuff
don't
going on with his eyes too. Did he have weapons in his eyes too, or were those just his eyes? I thought
I
those things protruded at one point.
if they did, I missed it. I'm glad I did, because that would have been a mess.
Oh yeah, he had something
Probably
going on with his eyes. Yeah.
I probably would have pissed my pants. He's actually kind of scary. The Leech Lady was. I'll give her 4 out of the fourth place out of them, because she just wasn't very scary. You have to be completely still and like immobilized like the horny dude in order to be assaulted by her,
Oh
because
no.
all she does is just out with the leeches. It's like very. Ugh. And then when they finally turn on their guy and all is revealed, and the guy is like, oh, I killed myself, I brought myself back to life, and I'm gonna do the same thing with you guys. I'm gonna do my whole thing. Like, I'm just evil for the sake of being evil, and I like science.
There it
Hey,
is.
let's mix science with magic. let's see.
Science.
Let's see what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's true.
he smacks Megan, he smacks the lady, his wife, I guess. And the puppets just turn on him. They're like, oh hell no. Like, we were raised with Olivia Benson. We don't play that domestic violence. Like, we don't like that. We don't bang with that. And you're either in or you're out, and you say out. And they decide to
Yeah.
turn on him. What was that about? Like, I thought that they were loyal to the end. They fully like
I guess that they were trying to
chose
like
who their master was, I guess, at the
right. I
end.
think they were trying to avenge not avenge him, but like kind of just doing his steps. They were trying to. He's not around anymore. You all here. You all hated him, so we're gonna kill you. And it's just like, oh no, I know he's not alive. Did he fake his death? Nah, we're not having that. And then at that point, it's just like, we did all this stuff for you. Look at we didn't took down people with leeches. You know how many leeches she had to eat up? Did she find the leeches beforehand, or does she just comes pre-installed with them? That's my
I
question.
really don't know what that is. Maybe she just generates them. Or maybe she, like I said, she had a late lunch and they just
Right. That's
develop.
what I'm thinking. Like
I don't know what
maybe
that's about. Very
had
weird.
had there been time, maybe could she ingest other things? Like maybe you be chilling and then she'll spit up like scorpions on you.
Okay, that would be really gross and scary. Because the leeches
Yeah.
is like not really. But if you've ever been like, this is gonna sound so country. If you've ever been crabbing and you drop the bucket and the crab is like, That really does make one
scuttling
nervous.
about.
It's it's so little, but it's sharp and dangerous, just like a scorpion. And scorpions have that venom or whatever. So that would
Yeah.
have been a much better pitch probably for her than leeches. For some reason, I guess leeches were scarier or
I
more.
think that was just gross. That's her. That was what she brought to the table. Was, oh, look at this little cute little. You see, the hair was laid down flat. She would definitely. That was like the Cardi B puppet. Like, it was like, oh, okay, I see you with the yaki, and then she all of a sudden she's, yeah, look at that, got that thing just laid, and
I'm mad you
then
say
all of a
yaki.
sudden. You caught that, yeah. And then it just starts spitting up parasites left and right, and I was just like, you know what? It's scary to the in a gross sense. You know, it's something that's so gross, it's cringy and things like that. But yeah, if she had the ability to produce other more dangerous things, then she can't be in fourth place. That's at least top
Then
three at that point.
I would definitely boost her up. I guess I have to agree with you that Pinhead does have a fear factor just because he's so swole. Like, it just makes me uncomfortable seeing that big body with that little head. Is just so
Yeah,
I don't
they're
want
made
it.
to make you uneasy. That's why he
I don't
sat
want
there and
it.
created them that way. Like, he was just like, all right, you know, he's probably, I don't know what old German people do when they're home alone, but he was putting these puppets together with that in mind. It was just like, I'm gonna give her a cute face, long hair, but when she opens her mouth, like, creepy crawly things come out, like a nasty centipede, millipede thing. It can't hurt you, but it's just like
that would be
fear
better.
factor style, you
Yeah,
know. And
that'd be
then you
way more
got your
gross out.
boy, the weaponizer. I don't know what he was just the leader. What is his name? Spike. That's the
Oh,
head gremlin. Head
oh
gremlin
yeah,
is
that
Spike.
was that
You know, but he's giving me Spike vibes. It's just like,
very
you
big
know,
spike energy.
it don't gotta be said. I got my little teeny black Air Forces on. One hand's a hook, one hand is a steak knife, and we are going off. It's like, oh man, he got his little hat. It's the hat that kills me. Nobody else
Okay,
had the hat.
but yeah, a hat definitely is, I would say, the equivalent of a cape to a superhero. The hat for a villain is necessary. And if you don't have
He
a
had
hat,
the hat
if you don't have
collar
the hat,
combo.
you need the hat collar combo. It's definitely chef's kiss of
Chef's
villain
kiss.
attire. I love
And
it.
he had it.
What are you thinking for this movie? Would you watch it again? Would you show your kids at a future date when they're able to handle it? Or is it a
I
no-go and you
might
wish
put
you
it
never
on
saw it?
now. I'm gonna put it on with them like
What?
tomorrow. When I'm gonna have some
No.
daylight
It's too
going,
many.
but
It's too much sex in this movie for that.
they don't know.
It's
They
too many
won't.
titties. You're right.
They,
You're right. They won't. They
listen,
won't know.
this is a titty positive household, so we're not gonna get over.
And this is
That's
a
not a
titty
con.
positive channel. This is a titty positive
Very
channel.
good.
Just saying for kids watching, probably fast forward through that scene.
Maybe, perhaps we'll see it, but I would, just off the strength that, like I said, I gave it a pass because it's 30 years old. 30-year-old movie. I did some research. It has 10 sequels. Yeah, there is a cult following for this movie.
Yeah, and I'm sad about it. Maybe they get better. Maybe they get better. Maybe they get better. Terminator 1, nobody was like, oh my God, girl, Terminator 1. It's all about Terminator 2. So maybe the other
Terminator
puppet
2 slaughtered the
masters.
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had
Maybe there's
9
something
more
like that going
tries.
on.
Think about that. It's just like,
okay,
somebody's watching these movies.
I do want to share that the budget for this film was $400,000 in 1989.
That's a lot of money for that time frame, and most of that was probably paid for the puppeteers to make that happen. Puppeteers and the animators, because it took a lot for that. There's a lot of stop motion. I looked up, the puppets weren't on screen that long.
Right.
And I want to go back and just kind of, after I did my research, I want to go back and just try to, put these things into play. But yeah, the puppets weren't on screen that long. They didn't for it to be called the Puppet Master, they didn't outstay their welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I can't give it a fail. It's in that category where it's like so bad that it's kind of good. If you don't go in expecting to be scared out of your wits and you're just looking for a puppet good time with some killing, like you said, it's some sex going on. You got some death going on. It's not over the top
Fun for
gory, but it's
everyone.
gory enough. Yeah, it's not excelling in one category, but it's doing enough in each category where I have to recommend it at least. But to do it sober, that's something different.
It sounds like it's a thumbs up, which is
I'm gonna go thumbs up. Yeah.
shocking.
Sorry.
Okay. No, don't be apologetic. It's your decision. All I can do is watch you go off in the wrong direction off the cliff. Now,
Absolutely.
for me, this movie, like I said, it's a must watch for puppet movies
enthusiasts.
It has exactly, because it has all of those follow-up sequels. Like, that's insane that they keep making. It's almost like how Sharknado, like, it's crap, but
yeah, that's where it
you're
is.
gonna
It's
keep
one of
watching.
those. I don't have high expectations for this movie. I'm just trying to get to the end and go, wow.
Yeah,
those puppets did that.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely want to, like you said, want to take a hit off the evil bong before watching this movie. Gratuitous, random sex moments.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
an 80s movie. It's an 80s horror movie, so you have to expect it.
Late 80s. Progressively sexy.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Leeches involved.
It's a thumbs down for me. With you adding all that, it's like it made it so much worse. It just made it like no for me. Ugh.
What?
It just wasn't it. None of the actors were good. None of the actors were good. All of the actors were just, I didn't care about them. Even the survivor. The only one I kind of liked, because I could relate to her, was the hoodoo voodoo lady. And it was because she had the knowledge, at least, or the wherewithal to be like over her room.
Right, I guess to
but in the end, it's like
predators.
Yeah, and like you said, she pushed the needle through the heart when they first.
You're not about to prevent the puppet. That you cannot. You can't ban the snowman. You can't prevent the puppet. Like, they're not living things. They blur the line between reality. Like, they're toys. Like you said, that's like you wake up and Buzz Lightyear is like, yeah, it's not stun no more. The laser's on kill. And how you gonna stop Buzz? You can't stop Buzz. You can't stop Woody. You couldn't stop Leech Throat. You couldn't stop
Leech
Lil Head. You won't. You cannot. My man Lil Head is not playing no game.
I was about to come in here and call him Biggie Smalls, but I couldn't even do Biggie like that because
well, maybe I don't know.
I mean, it's not enough there for that to land.
Let's load
all of these people in the movie, just not. It wasn't giving. Nobody notable or memorable. It's just not good.
We got to do the Evil Bong, and then we got to do at least.
We should do Evil Bong.
3. Evil
I'm
Bong,
not doing.
And then
I ain't doing no more Puppet Masters. I ain't doing. Look, if
2 and 3,
if Vic picks them, or if we have you on again, sir, and you decide to pick one of them, then maybe we'll do it. And also, I'm not coming on that night.
Oh.
Thank you for joining us. We're gonna wrap it up. Vic, where you at, bro? What's going on? We was missing you tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, what's happening? Thank you for joining us. We're gonna have a couple more shows to air this weekend. I think Cobra Kai on Sunday, season 4 of Cobra Kai will get reviewed.
I love this so far.
and I think I watched the whole thing already. It was so good. That is
I
a
didn't
show.
watch the
80s.
last 3 episodes. I had to
Okay,
hold
I
it
won't.
off. I
I
ran
won't.
through all of them, and I was like, I need to stop doing this. 'Cause I
I
did that with
know you do
they
it
need to
every
stall it out.
season.
I do. That's why I grabbed hold of it at I think which episode was it? It was like he was coming to terms where he had to share your boy, and he was just like, he got 2 senseis now, whatever. I got his mom, that's cool. I was just like, yeah. And then it was just like, all right, well, it's all Valley tournament time. I'm like, stop. I need to
Listen,
chill.
that show is
Hmm.
what I like to call so bad but good again, because the writing sometimes is so cringy, but it's so perfect. It captures all the best elements of those 80 movies with the
It's a generation gap, Yeah, it's like
it's
you
just so
got
good. And like with
80s and
it has the angsty teenager aspect, which I
hmm
love. Then it's
absolutely.
got the throwback with the teachers, with the senseis and their old beef, and they throw in the movie clips every now and then. I love it. It's just so well done.
I think
But
so
yeah, so
too.
we'll be reviewing season 4 of Cobra Kai on Netflix. That'll probably be airing next week, possibly Sunday. And we'll also be reviewing, oh gosh, what's our other girl? Girl, who are you? Oh, One Tree Hill.
Which
We'll
girl?
also be reviewing One Tree Hill. We're starting from episode 1, season 1. So excited for this. That'll be hosted by my good man, Mike Knox. Too bad he couldn't
Enjoy,
join us
Mike.
tonight because he also doesn't like scary movies. Boo.
I
But
love
that's
scary
totally fine.
movies, but not One Tree Hill. Ugh.
What? One Tree Hill was very much so a moment of time. Okay.
That Dawson and Gilmore Girls, all of those can get on the same boat, and we
No,
can
one
sink it together.
no, One Tree Hill was its own girl, and the OC and all what you talking about, Dawson's Creek, Gilmore Girls, all that.
Ooh,
That's over here. One Tree Hill was like the bad boy. You know what I mean? All that other stuff is exactly what you would think.
how?
Well, because it just had a lot of like spicy things happening,
Like
like that
what?
one that one season of remember that one season of Degrassi where shit was
No.
going down. You didn't watch Degrassi either?
My love for these teenage dramas stopped at Boy Meets World. I love Boy Meets World, and that's it. I didn't do anything else after Boy Meets World. It was
You just
all
get
wrestling and BET at that point. So sorry.
yeah, you are sorry. I don't appreciate this. And you know what? Maybe we need
When
to
you do
recruit
Boy
you.
Meets World, let me know.
Ain't
I will
nobody doing
come.
no maybe we'll do Girl Meets World. Did you check that out?
I tried it, but it was not enough of a I don't know. They didn't have you know what I just found out? Mr.
What?
Feeney was on Grey's Anatomy. I
Was
thought you
he?
man, what? But you wouldn't like
He
I
was on
said,
Grey's
when you
Anatomy. Was he? Did he have an
hmm
arc or he's a main
he had
character?
he when Sandra O's character went to she got accepted to another hospital, that they became buddies. So they was in
Okay.
surgery together, and he's like an old man, so he's just trying to pass on all the stuff, and he's just encouraging her. And I mean, spoiler alert, he doesn't go far. Okay, I'll tell you that. But
Oh, well, we
but
love
he
Mr.
was there.
Feeney.
I do love Mr. Feeney, and that's because of Boy Meets World, obviously. But it's just like, yeah, that if you needed an old supportive white guy, I don't know too many. Mr. Feeney will probably be top in the top 3, and he's probably 1 and 2. I don't know who the third old
Uncle
white guy
Uncle
would be.
Ben, Uncle Ben
Which Uncle Ben?
from any of the Spider-Mans.
Oh, just whichever spot. It doesn't matter which one. Okay, got
he's
you.
it's he's listen, he doesn't get a lot of varying character traits. It's just just that one.
I would do
Dying and
Uncle.
words of wisdom.
I would do not Uncle Ben. I would do Mr. Feeney twice, so he's 1 and 2, and then Wilson from Home
Oh,
Improvement. Hmm.
that's who I was trying to
This
think
guy.
of. Well, yes.
Yeah,
Ew.
I would
Do
do
you remember finally seeing
that.
Wilson's face and thinking, "Oh
Nope,
my god"?
I
So
never
you didn't
spoiled
watch the
it
whole
for
thing?
myself. I'd never spoil Wilson. He
Okay,
doesn't. He's still
before we
behind
cut
there.
this,
Don't you find? If you do, I will leave so hard.
Before we cut this, no, I won't do it. I
I
won't
will
do it.
leave
I
so
know. I
hard.
swear to God, my hands are off the keyboard. I do need to ask:
Okay.
Did you ever finish
Don't say Dexter.
Dexter? I'm gonna
Dexter,
say
they came.
Dexter.
No, they came
They
back out
started a
with
new
new
season, so
Dexter. I saw that.
technically, you can finish the last one because it's a new one now.
You're not wrong, and I did not. No. I have a bad habit with not. I like my characters to be how I want them to be all the way through. You see what I'm saying? Like all the way. What's a
So they're not
popular
allowed to
show that
grow.
ended? They're allowed to grow up until the final season. And when I see, for example, did you watch Nurse Jackie?
No,
See, you
I
gotta watch
know. I
Nurse
was behind
Jackie.
the times.
As far as
I
I'm
was watching
concerned,
House of Cards.
I didn't see House of Cards, but is it good? I will go watch House of Cards. I
It's
don't
really
have any
good.
apprehension.
I hate to support it now because Kevin Spacey, you know, his whole
Yeah,
thing.
that's where I was
That
on
being
that. I
said,
was
House
like,
of
hey
Cards
man,
is
I was never a
excellent.
fan. Oh damn, that sucks.
But he's a good actor, though. I can't lie. He's an extremely great actor. But most Hollywood pedos are extremely talented. Well, anyway, that's been our show. We're gonna end it on that note. Kevin Spacey needs to be under the jail, and it's a
Somebody in the
no for Puppet
comments
Master.
said Dexter sucks, so we need to go ahead and end the show tonight. Don't check it. Don't check it. Just end the show on that note before we go. I don't know who that is.
We should go ahead and we should go ahead and end it. I ain't put no comments on tonight. Sorry, guys. Yell at Chris. Bye.